which is one of the most important, powerful, impactful conjunctions of Vedic astrology, which is Jupiter Venus conjunction. Two masters, two gurus. One is Jupiter, is a teacher of divine gods, and Venus is a teacher of demon gods. These two teachers conjunct together to produce great wealth yogas. But these yogas, they come with cost, because Jupiter is bitter enemy to Venus and vice versa. The animosity stemmed from Saturn and Sun's mutual rivalry, because everybody knows that Saturn always had this feel that, like he is discriminated by his father son, and he didn't care him. So Sun is basically, king of planets, but Venus created another kingdom, and he made Rahu stand against Sun. So actually, the planets, they split into two groups. One is Sun group and Saturn group. So I can say it's a Jupiterian group and a Venusian group. So Jupiter has Sun as his king of the kingdom, and Jupiter being advisor for the king. Venus has an equal and opposite force, Rahu as king of his kingdom, and Mercury is his advisor. For Sun, Jupiter is advisor. For the king, Jupiter is the advisor, and they are best friends. And for Saturn and Venus, so Mercury is the advisor. So Venus, Mercury, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, this is one group. Jupiter, Sun, Mars, Moon, this is another group. In fact, Mercury is neutral. That's why he is friend to Sun as well Saturn. That's why Mercury is called a mediator, an ambassador, a divine ambassador who can bridge, mediate between Sun and Saturn, because he's a mutual friend of both the planets. In fact, Sun and Saturn, they are bitter enemies to each other, whereas Sun goes well with Mercury and Saturn goes well with Mercury, because Mercury is neutral. So this is what the difference between the Venus group and what we call Jupiter group. So in the Jupiter group, like they have Mars as a commander, and in Venus group they have Ketu as their commander. So Ketu is actually peer to Mars in terms of energy, and this Venus group has Mercury as an advisor, and this Sun group has Jupiter as an advisor. So these two planets, so when they conjunct in certain nakshatras for certain ascendants in certain positions, they produce great wealth yogas. Name, fame, riches, fortune, they bring everything. But this combination also brings a lot of animosity, because Jupiter and Venus, actually there are two equal and opposite energies peer to each other. Both are actually teachers, and they never go hand in hand. So what is Jupiter? So Jupiter is optimism. And what is Venus? Venus is happiness. Jupiter is hope, Venus is lust. Jupiter is contentment, Venus is pleasures. Jupiter is Jiva Karaka, the Karaka for life. Venus is the one who can evade Apamurchu, Maraka. So basically it is called a life-threatening situation. Venus is capable of getting rid of a life-threatening situation for an individual if he is pleased with that Mahamrutyunjay mantra, because Venus was inventor of Mahamrutyunjay mantra. Jupiter is kindness, Venus is love, compassion. Jupiter is nurturing, Venus is pampering. Jupiter is inner beauty, Venus is outer beauty, external beauty. Jupiter is known for long distance travels, flying across oceans. Venus is known for vehicles. Jupiter is Karaka for father, Venus is Karaka for mother and motherly personalities. So, Jupiter is a natural ninth and 12th house lord from this Kala Chakra, and as well as the Venus is second and seventh lord. So when these two energies conjunct, what happens is a prominent wealth yoga is formed. Which is called Dhana Bhagyadipati Yoga. So when Dhanadipati conjunct with Bhagyadipati, the second lord conjunct with ninth lord, it produces great yoga. And also the seventh lord, so Venus is a natural karaka for second and seventh houses, because he owns Taurus and Libra. So again, conjunction of seventh and ninth lords is another wealth yoga. So when seventh lord conjuncts with ninth lord, the spouse of the individual brings a lot of fortune in his life. Jupiter is a natural Dhanakarka, and Venus owns a natural second house from zodiac, which is Taurus. Jupiter is for nourishing, Venus is for relationships. So, which is more important? Either Jupiter is important or Venus is important. So, for every individual, both the energies are required. A Jupiterian person, he seems to be more religious, systematic, disciplined, thinking for a bigger cause. But whereas a Venusian person, for him, life is a happening thing. He wants to enjoy life, enjoy all the pleasures. He wants to have a good spouse, and he wants to have great luxury life, lavish life. And the planets in his territory, own territory, Venusian territory, Rahu and Mercury, they're going to help him. For Jupiter, he has a natural soul karaka significator Sun, and he has a commander Mars, which is known for energy, initiation, and he has a moon, which represents mind as his best friend. So Jupiter exalts in moon house. So this conjunction, if it happens in Kendra, then this combination makes a person highly political, highly strategic. If this combination happens in Kona, it produces again, prominent wealth yoga. So Jupiter is a Jiva Karaka. So wherever the house Jupiter is in, he protects. And there are some qualities in common between Jupiter and Venus. Even Venus also, wherever the house he is in, that house is said to be safe. But Jupiter is more safer. In Vedic text, it's mentioned that either one of the planets, Jupiter or Venus, is in Kendra at the time of the birth of a boy, then they are capable of eliminating 1 lakh sins, negative effects. So that's the beauty of Venus and Jupiter in Kendra. If both the planets are in Kendra, definitely the person will lead a long life. And he's very dynamic. He attains name, fame. He reaches a peak. He sees peak in his life. So when it comes to conjunction, so the relation between Jupiter and Venus could be of many types. They could conjunct, they could stay in same house together, and they may be in a mutual exchange. This is another relationship, and they can aspect each other. So out of 3 yogas, the mutual exchange is more pure, powerful yoga. And after that, the conjunction is more powerful. But conjunction, it creates some kind of turbulence because of the animosity between these 2 planets. Sometimes the person gets perplexed. He won't be in a position to make any call because he has divine wisdom and he has Venus, another teacher, influencing him. So whose advice he has to follow? So definitely this person comes across 2 different personalities, that those personalities are equal and opposite, having 2 different perspectives, and he has to go along with them. And there is another connection which is also more powerful. Jupiter is in Venus star and Venus is in Jupiter star. This is also one of the Parivartana Yoga at nakshatra level, but it could not be felt or seen. But it could be experienced through results only. Some people feel that who understand these energies, they only can feel this energy when the nakshatra parivartana happens. Jupiter is in Venus nakshatra and Venus in Jupiter nakshatra. So he has to understand how the planet energies work, what are their portfolios, what are their significations. And aspecting each other is also a very, very, very good, powerful yoga. Jupiter and Venus aspecting each other. It makes a person a highly influential person, having connections with highly influential people, with big politicians, business magnates, celebrities. and they are very smart, very intelligent. You don't know what strategy is going in their mind. Their life is full of strategies. If Jupiter and Venus are, connected. So these two planets conjuncting together is one kind of conjunction. Aspecting each other, which is a mutual aspect, that is another strong yoga. And in exchange, Jupiter is in Jupiter Venus house, or Venus is Jupiter house. What happens in this exchange? So basically, this exchange, planet exchange, is actually felt, experienced by an individual at a physical level, because the demon guru, the teacher of demons, he becomes the teacher of divine gods. So it's actually a threat for Jupiterian people. And here, in exchange, the teacher of divine gods becomes a teacher of demons, and again a threat to demon group. So they both have this kind of insecurity. If I do harm to these people, my people will be in trouble. So I have to take care of them. A guru, like who is a kind of a divinely spiritual person, he gets obsessed with the Venusian qualities like bed pleasures, alcoholism. In addition to being guru, maintaining the status of guru, a person who is a drunkard, who is a romantic person, that guy is worshipped as a great soul with this exchange. And also coming to relationships. So Jupiter is a karaka for husband in a woman's chart, and Venus is karaka for wife in a guy's chart. So the blessings of both Venus are required for an individual to lead a successful life. If your chart has only Jupiter energy and doesn't have Venus energy, what happens? This guy struggles to get married, struggles to enjoy his marital life, struggles to have the luxuries, comforts of life. And if you have a Venusian energy predominantly and you don't have Jupiter energy in your chart, what happens? There is no control. You are indulged into many addictions, and there is no self-control. Jupiter is the one that gives you that God-fearing, not the Venus. Venus is always partying. And people who have this conjunction, yes, it is one of the very good conjunctions for wealth, growth, success, name and fame. But the problem here is these people, they come across highly influential people as their enemies. They have to fight with them. They could be a top-notch political person or a highly religious, Brahmin, it could be anything, but their enemies are very strong, highly influential. This conjunction brings enmity with highly influenced people. So, usually, politicians, celebrities, people who basically move pawns, because of which it causes downfall of a particular person or uplift some other person. This is what the conjunction influences. It gives great diplomatic political mindset. Of course, they are well placed to tackle the enemies because they know Venus energy, they know Jupiter energy. They have both the strategies. But it creates some kind of mental disturbance, turbulence. So, friends, this is my analysis about Jupiter Venus conjunction. If you like the video, please click on the like button and also subscribe to my video. Thank you very much.